Acknowledge me!
You just made the list!
I am the B-E-S-T.
I'm better than you, and you know it. Damn.
Welcome back to Down Under the Mat podcast here around the pool table of relevancy in Madison Square Garage. To my left, Mr. Daniel Danielson. To my right, Rowdy Reece. I am Booker Ted, and we are here again for another episode of Down Under the Mat podcast, talking all things wrestling. And before we get into it, I do need to apologise, as I was sent a cease and desist letter by Madison Square Garden.
You know we're going big when we're already on the cease and desist.
No, I did not. But I realised I had said Madison Square Garden instead of Garage at the end of our last podcast.
Yep.
Not that anyone's picked me out on it yet, so that does show me no one's watching till the end. So you've been caught. We've caught you out. Wait till the end.
I would have thought the garage door gave it away, but, you know, that's just me, I guess.
Yeah, we've got to be careful, man. There's people watching.
Copyright strikes left, right and centre.
I'm surprised we haven't heard anything about Roddy Reece and Daniel Danielson yet, but I'm sure we'll get
I can even get my name changed legally if you want me to. Births and marriages.
But I think we were going to talk, though. Like, are we going to change it to Dynamite Dan?
No, we're not.
You're sticking with Daniel Danielson.
Look, I like the Mud Show, just not that much.
Mud Show counter. We're already off and started.
What?
Gotta admit, it's a good name, though.
That's not bad.
So, what a week in wrestling again. Second week in a row where we're coming in going, oh my God.
Oh, my God.
There's a lot to talk about. And the first thing, straight off the bat, because it's the biggest thing that anyone in Australia especially is talking about,
Yeah.
Elimination Chamber is coming to Perth.
Flights and accommodation have been booked.
I tell you what, we are super excited. Unfortunately, it all went down on the night that I had dinner with my mum, so I had to sit there while you two
Sorry, Ted's mum.
were buzzing my phone away in my pocket, and I just knew, I'm like, they've announced it. I'm sitting there having drinks, and I'm like, Perth's been announced. It must be that, because nothing else would be setting them off so much in the chat. So how do you feel?
I feel a bit flabbergasted. Like we discussed, I think it was last week or the week before on the podcast. Like when we first got news, it was days away from being announced. It was like, what if they, like, because time of the year it is, it's Elimination Chamber time. Yeah. What if they actually bring it? But we thought it'd be too much effort for them to bring it all over. But
What's the logistical costs to bring that much steel over?
well, I suppose they got their own private jets and shit. So
Well, the other thing is as well, from the sounds of it, and I think from talk that has been online elsewhere, the WA government is paying for most of it.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why WWE, when they're going overseas now, are looking for places who are going to pay for them to come and do a show.
Well, that's what Clash of the Castle was in.
Yeah, exactly.
Wales,
and let's look at it, right? It's a smart investment, because if they pay, I don't know how much it would be if they paid WWE 20 million, right? And they say, we want you to, come over, we'll pay for it. We've already booked the flights and accommodation. You imagine how many other people have who have never been to Perth before. And I know there's people in America talking about buying tickets to come over. All of you over there, let us buy tickets first, because you get shows every week, right? This is only a third show ever. So let us buy tickets first.
first time back in 5 years, mind you.
Well, last time before that was 17 years, wasn't it?
No, it's 2018. Super Showdown was the last tour. But
before that it was like a 17-year wait.
They've done house shows here.
They've done like live tours and stuff, because I went to the one before Super Showdown.
Oh, right.
That was good.
Right, okay.
Good show.
But I mean, look, the fact that it's a Elimination Chamber, it's one of the big four. That was unexpected, because obviously last time it was Super Showdown, which then Saudi Arabia went and stole.
It's not one of the big
four. It was
four,
Crown Jewel.
It's not.
It's not one of the
What do
big
you mean?
Rumble,
Yeah.
Mania,
Yeah.
SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Those are the big four.
Man, change it to Elimination Chamber.
That's
Survivor Series is... But
it's part of the second big four.
Is it really one of the big four anymore, Survivor Series? Be honest. Is it really
War Games.
Survivor Series?
Yeah.
Well, I saw an interesting...
Come on.
Depends how they book it, but
interesting theory for War Games. I saw an ad a fake ad for it this week, a couple days ago. Bloodline and Judgment Day versus KO and Sammy, Cody, Jay, and somebody else, 2 other people.
I've heard the rumors of the Sammy KO.
But it's going to be
Jay
interesting if they go down.
Judgment
Yeah.
It's a big match.
and then Judgment Day.
But anyway, back to Perth.
Sorry, yeah.
We're getting off.
And not only Elimination Chamber, we saw the news break today. Undertaker's going to be coming over, so we're likely going to be getting his podcast.
Yeah.
If they're going to do the Saturday night show for Elimination Chamber, they'll do Friday night SmackDown here as well, I would say.
Possibly. That'd be fun.
Fingers
Unless
crossed.
it's pre-taped.
Yeah. Hopefully not. I hope they just do the live show. Could maybe potentially get Raw as well, but I feel like once Elimination Chamber's done, they'll fly back on the Sunday.
So logistically, though, I don't think they can do SmackDown because if they're going to do SmackDown live as they would for American time, it's 10 a.m. for us, which means you'd have to have the wrestlers out, ready, prepared, doing a 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. show, then go away, then come back and do the pay-per-view at 6 o'clock that night. They won't make them wrestle twice.
Yeah.
No way, that won't happen.
I think you're right. I think
No, like do it on Friday night our time.
But then it's
Screw them. I don't care.
no, that's going to work.
But I mean, they're not going to do the pay-per-view and SmackDown and.
But like saying that, they're doing it on the Saturday for us, but they do them on Saturdays in the US as well. So, well, why didn't they just do
because they wouldn't
Sunday
pre-record
show?
it twice.
No,
So
for the pay-per-view, why wouldn't they just do it on the Sunday? Because then it'll be normal time for the American audience to see it.
I'm really confused from what you're talking about now. So they've already announced through the wrestling and stuff that the pay-per-view time will be like 3 a.m. or whatever for the US. So it's live Australian time. So it should be 7 p.m. Perth time or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Which would mean if they were going, actually, we know Perth time's what, 3 hours behind?
Yeah.
behind us, yeah.
So that would be 7 a.m. They'd have to do SmackDown for it to be the same 8 p.m. time slot on Friday night in America.
Because like what I'm trying to say is they do their pay-per-views on Saturday in the United States. Right?
Yes.
They're doing it on Saturday here.
Yes.
So that means they're adjusting to.
So it's going to be on Friday that they're watching, is what you're saying.
It's going to be
early Saturday
the
morning.
normal like time slot that they would show a pay-per-view, but it's just our time zone instead of their one. So why wouldn't they do SmackDown on our Friday?
Because the USA Network has a contracted deal that says your SmackDown goes live from 8 p.m. until 10 p.m. American Eastern Time, which would be 7 a.m. time in Perth on the Saturday morning.
So they'd have to pre-record it.
It's not happening pre-recorded.
They'd have to do it like on the Thursday.
Just
and
kill my
I
hopes and dreams.
I
Kill
really
my hopes
wanted
and
to do it
dreams,
with you.
man.
I hoped, but then I looked at the logistics and it's just not going to
Well, at least we're getting Undertaker. Like that's going to be
I
good.
feel like if they were going to do that, they would have announced it at the same time that they were going to do SmackDown as well. Because otherwise, as we said, we've already booked tickets.
Yeah.
Right. So, once you announce that stuff, you've got to let people know earlier on, because otherwise, it's going to cause absolute mayhem for booking. But
It's going to be a big week because they're talking about it being a week-long event. So we're going to get some backstage stuff like access.
Oh, there'll be 100%. There'll be fan things. There'll be
We're going to
signing
get other
sessions.
promotions potentially make shows in Perth to capitalise.
That would be
the wrestling
fantastic. See
hype.
some of the local Australian stuff in the same week.
We already know Rhea's going to have something there, being the champion, right? You can tell that they're starting to push Bronson Reed and Grayson Waller a bit now.
I've already
Although
seen.
they were going to get matches anyway, but let's build them up come Australian time. They were Emma. Oh wait, never mind. Talk about that one too. I would love to see this. This is me pure fantasy booking for a few months' time. Obviously we got Perth. This is Elimination Chamber. Pay-per-view before that's the Royal Rumble. Let's get the Iconics in the Royal Rumble and just give them a tag title match. Let's do it. Could you imagine the crowd for that? They would go off. Absolutely.
Yeah, they went off with the Melbourne show that they did here. In
Yeah, they
2018.
did.
Exactly.
And they were heel too, and we're still like, we don't care. We don't care.
Let's get them
In
back
fact,
on
all the Aussies are heels, aren't they, at the moment? In WWE.
Except Indy
Rhea?
Hartwell.
Indy Hartwell's not.
Yeah, Indy Hart,
But she's not exactly being.
I mean, I'm
used
talking main
much
roster
at all.
here.
Indy's on the main roster. She's just not wrestling.
Okay, not very often.
She got squashed by Rhea the other week. Come on.
Does that count, man?
So we get Rhea, Bronson,
Rhea, Bronson, Grayson.
They're all heels.
They're all heels.
And they're going to get you the shit out of you. But
Of course they will. Of course they will. Hometown
A-Town
heroes.
Down Under is going to be so over.
So,
I'm so glad they're continuing that.
I mean, I guess that's the problem. We can't even really talk about what matches we'd be excited for because we have no
Nothing's been
idea other
announced.
than the elimination chambers themselves. And even then,
and there's
we
going
don't
to
know
be
who's going to be in it.
hopefully at least two of them. I'd say.
There's real women's and a men's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
because
is
one
like
of them usually starts the show and then one will end, usually. And you would think, considering that it's in Australia, maybe the women's one if Rhea's involved, but if she's the champion, obviously she's not going to be involved. So
Unless
Well,
they
they
put a title.
defend titles in chambers.
yeah, it does happen. It does happen.
Can you name me 5 other people competent to take that title though?
True.
That's the only problem for that.
But I know you say that, but I mean, the whole point of the Elimination Chamber at the moment, right, is to be you can challenge the champion at WrestleMania. Isn't that the current one? Isn't that the current one?
Well, generally the way the storylines go is the winner of the Royal Rumble challenges one champion, and the winner of the Chamber gets the other.
Exactly.
It's just generally how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
one of them's usually a title match.
yeah, but then so who do we think is going to win the Royal Rumble?
Gunther.
And then he's going to want to take on Seth, which means the winner of the Elimination Chamber
Didn't
is
I
Cody,
say
who
this?
takes on Roman Reigns.
Didn't I say this a few weeks ago?
yeah.
I said Cody was going to win Chamber to get to Roman, not the Royal Rumble.
He's going to get drafted to SmackDown in December. We know it.
Yeah, it's going to happen. We know that for sure. But yeah, so obviously
That's
Perth,
the good news for the week.
Perth,
Yeah.
mate, awesome, fantastic announcement. Everyone was absolutely cheering, and obviously they announced it later in the day here. So
On
it was
Friday
just
it
before
was.
we're all about
Yeah.
to go to bed.
Those are boys.
Thursday.
The new
It was-
day.
yeah, and then wake up the next day to see a massive list
of
of
cuts.
releases. So the
Have you got the list of all
I
names?
have got the list.
I've got a
Glad
picture
you
to
guys
talk
did that
about.
research.
So obviously the original ones that we saw, and then there was another one afterwards, but the original list from the first couple of days was the big names: Dolph Ziggler,
Yeah.
Mustafa Ali, Shelton Benjamin, Top Dollar, Riddick Moss, Emma, Aaliyah, Rick Boogs, Quincy Elliott, Bryson Montana, Dana Brooke, Mansoor, Mace. Is it Mace or how do you say?
Marseille.
Marseille, wasn't it? Shanky, Dabakato,
Dubakato.
Ulisa Leon, and Daniel McCarthy, your favourite.
Shame.
So yeah, obviously, as we got lower in that list, I'm sure a lot of you at home, same to me, are like, who? But then the big...
But it's like people still lost their job.
Of
which
course,
is-
dude. I'm not trying to say
tragic.
that it's not sad.
Yeah.
But I
It's
can
just like-
understand why, because you don't
Yeah.
even know who they are. But
Yeah.
obviously then the big one that came out even after that was Matt Riddle was released,
Yeah.
which I don't think anyone
Which
really...
I don't think any of us surprised about that, which all the trouble.
Now that it's happened, no.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I still was a bit shocked, but then obviously you think about it and go, well, I can understand the reasons,
Yeah.
but I don't think he was anywhere near, especially after the sightings of Randy coming back to the Performance Centre.
Yeah.
I think that probably made everyone think, oh, no way, like Matt Riddle's not...
Yeah, but when you say you got sexually assaulted by a police officer in an airport and then don't show up on TV for the next 2 weeks, something's
Something's a bit.
a bit sus. And
Yeah.
to be fair, this is also the second time Dana White's fired Matt Riddle.
He's just loving it.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, look, surprising name, but not a shock when you think about it.
Yeah, of course.
I think the most surprising has got to be Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, yeah, I
As
think
much
so.
as he hasn't been used and he's kind of been wanting to. I've got the stats up here of his history.
Is that, yeah, that's what I was going to look
Yeah. All right. So let's go through his accolades. 19 years with the company, 1,554 TV matches.
for. Third most in history.
Yeah.
Jeez.
2-time world heavyweight champion.
Yep.
1-time NXT champion.
Yep.
6-time Intercontinental champion. 2-time United States champion. 4-time tag team champion and Money in the Bank winner in 2012.
And you forgot his biggest accolade. He was
Well,
a
being in
member
the
of the
Spirit
Spirit Squad. I mean, come on, man. Like,
I love Ziggs, right?
I think everyone
That's my
does.
boy.
Yeah.
That pop that he had on that Raw after WrestleMania when he cashed in on Del Rio is one of the greatest ever. And I like, if you guys watched the interview he did with Chris Van Vliet. So he had a chat with Dolph around it, and Dolph said that they planned that because they knew he was going to win, right? He knew he was cashing in.
yep.
But he said, what I want to do is, what happens if Dolph gets Dolph one last time? So instead of every other cash in, like where they cash in, they go in, they smash the champion
Yeah.
and win straight away. He went in, hit the zigzag, and he kicked out. And then Del Rio got him in the armbar and stuff. He wanted to play it for that 3 minutes. Let's see if everyone thinks Dolph's going to get Dolphed one last time.
Right.
And that's why that pop is so huge, because he almost loses it and then he wins.
Yeah.
He is such a smart wrestling brain. I think, like you said, his career accolades are phenomenal. This is a pure business financial decision.
Oh, 100%.
He is on ex-WWE champion money. He is
Yep.
on millions of dollars per year.
Yep.
They are not using him on TV.
No.
Yep.
TKO said, cut him.
Yeah.
And so he gets cut. He'll go out. He'll find his feet. He'll land in AEW if he has to. He'll do stand-up comedy. I would not doubt that Royal Rumble comes. He is re-signed for a third of the money that he was on. and they just bring him back.
That's if he wants to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, if he gets good offers from all the indie circuit or even AEW. Man,
I mean, look how much money AEW's throwing around. Moxley's on like $6 million.
Yeah,
Like
look,
that's ridiculous.
he will make
money.
big money if wherever he goes. I fully get it, but I think that this was not a Triple H and that saying we don't want Dolph. This is a we have been told we need to have funds.
Executives.
Yeah.
This is the money that we have to. Same as like Shelton would have been on big money in comparison to what he's doing. If they're not going to run back the Hurt business and put him on TV,
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree with you. Like, looking at the list, I feel like more than likely it was a suit behind a desk looking at, they said, run me a list of the people longest since they've been seen on TV. And then they filtered it by how much they cost, and they went, right, there's our list of who we're getting rid of.
But then, like, you look at that, and then, like, they cut Mustafa Ali, who's been used on NXT every week,
Who's announced
and
for
had a title
next
match. Yeah, had a title match against Dom next week.
Yeah,
on the
that's
NXT
pretty
pay-per-view.
crazy.
But
And they cut him.
The rumor around that one is it's Fox. So Fox
just
don't
crazy.
like his current gimmick that he's that like, is it like left wing kind of I'm thinking Parliament, but that's not the word they use over in politician type gimmick. Fox using that Fox as a channel don't like that gimmick.
Yeah, because they're, okay.
And they didn't want him to do it the first time. That's why
Right.
he didn't do it. And then now this time around, he kind of got a bit more creative freedom and started doing it. And I think Fox have been like, we really don't want that. It's out.
Interesting.
It's been unfortunate, but
It is. Well, look, I mean, and then the other unfortunate one, I mean, Shelton Benjamin, man, I mean, that sucks for me because I'm a Shelton fan, but I mean, he hasn't really done anything for a long time. But surprising he's not involved in some way, sort of back of house.
Producer or something.
Producing matches or something. I think he'd probably be great at that. And then obviously if we skip down the list, Emma, I think that was probably the saddest one because literally moments after Perth was announced, she came out and tweeted on X that, oh my God, this is my dream to wrestle for WWE in Australia. And then all of about 51 minutes later had to retweet and say, forget that, I just got released.
yeah.
That's
That's absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah, man, I feel really bad for her because that, and we said this just before off air, right? Like, it doesn't matter what level in WWE they are. If you bring an Aussie over here, like that time they did with Buddy in Melbourne, and he got the massive pop, man.
Yeah,
That's
because
what
Buddy wasn't doing much at that stage.
Nope, not at all. And he got the biggest pop of the night.
Yeah, and they didn't really do much with the cruiserweight division back then. It was kind of like they had their little mini segments on Raw. Like they didn't have their own show at that stage. And then, you bring him down here. He got massive pops. He got the title.
Yeah.
And then just like
Because
got
you
elevated from
probably
there.
could have put Emma in the Elimination Chamber and put her down like last 2 or 3 and just give the Australians that tiny bit of hope that she might go to WrestleMania or win the title, and then obviously doesn't win. But that would have, it would have been great.
But
So
did she get released just because she's with Madcap Moss and they were releasing Moss and they had to release her too?
Possibly.
But also they haven't used either of them in television in the past few months, I think.
I always thought it was strange when they kept pushing Moss sort of pre-WrestleMania. He kept on having segments with like Karrion Kross and different things. And I always thought he was competent and fine, but I just never cared for his character.
No.
And, when he was with Happy Corbin and stuff, like
That was funny.
He had his moments, but he's never really went anywhere. I mean, one that I'm surprised Karrion Kross didn't get cut. Like, I do not care for that gimmick
Let's talk about
whatsoever.
that. Our boy, Akira Tozawa, still avoiding being future endeavored.
Yeah.
So good.
Leave Tozawa on the roster for sure.
Yeah, I have to say, I actually had a mate who sent me a message and said, can you make sure you say on the podcast that these people have been future endeavored? And I did forget to say to him that was already Reese's joke and I didn't want to steal it. So, no, I mean, the other one that really interests me, and I haven't seen a lot of him, but Shanky, I thought that was a really interesting one. And this is what really makes me think there's no rhyme or reason to the list. It's literally just they've done a filter of who hasn't been on TV, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Done this. Especially because they just had the Superstar Spectacular in India
Where he
wrestled.
Yeah.
It's his home country, and they obviously see India as a big opportunity market.
Yeah.
And he's one of the ones on the list to get let go. Like, to me, that just seemed a very odd decision.
what's he been doing?
It's because they're keeping Jinder Mahal and there's other 2 guys that no one remembers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Why couldn't they just put him with him?
I don't know. I mean, look, and the only problem I have is this the last we're going to see of some cuts? Because the way these cuts went, I feel like there's going to be more.
You had like Dana Brooke and stuff on that.
Yeah, Dana Brooke's on there too, so we should have mentioned Dana Brooke.
That was like part 2 of the recent cuts, but apparently there's another part on the way.
Maybe. I mean,
Seen some rumblings already.
some of the things that have come from it, Mason Mansoir are two guys that had a lot of, I think, opportunities, and they pitched some different things. They had a 3 or 4 hour Twitch stream. Did you guys hear about that?
No.
So after they got cut, they just went, oh, fuck it. And they went onto Twitch and just started telling stories about all this.
Oh, I did hear about some of the stories. Yeah.
And they were saying, like, Vince is actually a really nice guy, so is Triple H. Seth Rollins doesn't really talk to anyone backstage. He's kind of just in his bus and he doesn't really talk to people. Cody, it's between sort of Cody and, who was the other person they mentioned? Can't remember. Somebody else was like the nicest person backstage. Like Cody's.
Oh, you can see that because Cody's himself on screen.
Oh, 100%. And like they said that they had some really good fun stories and stuff. One of the things they were talking about, they were pitching some stories around them being like bounty hunter type sort of characters. Like they get people out, like little bruises and stuff. So like helping people, getting someone out of a trunk and stuff. They pitched full stories. They filmed everything. They put it all together, and they had all these options, and they just never went anywhere with WWE.
Shame.
And then the interesting fact that I'd heard about them was, pretty sure it was Mansoir, because he was signed as part of the Saudi deal with the WWE. And the reason why they never put him on TV, so SmackDown and Raw and stuff, was because under his contract with the Saudi deal, he wasn't allowed to lose on television. So they could never put him up, because you'd assume like Maximum Male Models could have been enhancement talent. They could have gone into all the stuff,
But not with that. With that clause.
squashed and stuff, but they never ever were. They were on TV all the time with Maxime Dupri and the stuff with Alpha Academy, but they never had a match. Why would they never have? It's because he was never allowed to lose.
Yeah, interesting. Because now I'm starting to think what's going to happen with Crown Jewel when it comes around. Now that TKO are doing all these cuts and everything.
Got no Mansoir, got no Ali.
Well, the thing that I remember reading...
That's what I was going to mention. It's all about Sammy now because...
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, he got a mad pop there, right? Because he speaks the language. So, and it's, his religion. So he really got that pop. But wasn't there a combat company that Saudi Arabia bought? I saw that in the news a while ago. There was some... multi-sport combat company that Saudi bought. And WWE, this was like a month or two back, and WWE shares dropped slightly.
Over there? Or
just in general. Because obviously they get a lot of money from Saudi Arabia for the shows, and it was thought that maybe with Saudi buying this company that they weren't going to do WWE anymore. But I haven't heard anything since.
PFL Mixed Martial Arts.
There we go, Mixed Martial Arts. That's what Saudi bought, yeah. So maybe it's to do with that. Maybe,
could be.
Because obviously TKO also has UFC. Maybe they're looking at in terms of competition from that PFL, but I've never heard of it. So,
Professional Fighters League.
Yes. If anyone knows it, let us know. Never seen it.
It's worth more than 100 million, they reckon.
That's
that doesn't
pennies
sound like
for Saudi
much,
Arabia.
yeah.
Oh, no,
it's got a change.
Okay. No, so the PFL has former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou. I know him.
Yeah.
And Jake Paul.
Yeah, right.
Is also signed.
So they've got some... Okay.
Hooray.
So it might have to be...
Hooray, Jake Paul. Oh, my God. I'm so excited.
Oh, the Paul brothers.
Get out of here.
Mate. So, yeah, look, it's... I don't know, man. There's a lot you could read into these releases. I mean, as I said, like I know you just mentioned it before, Reece. I think it was already mentioned when they started doing the back of house releases before how sad it was because obviously these people losing their jobs.
Yeah, we touched on it in the last week's podcast. Like at that time, it was only office cuts that we knew about, but we kind of joked about, when are the superstar cuts going to come? Unfortunately, they did this time.
But I mean, look, it is, they did the typical corporate thing where they waited until just after they'd made a massive announcement about Perth. And
SmackDown.
Okay,
the announcement about SmackDown?
Oh,
the $1.4 billion deal for it to go back to the USA Network and NBC.
Yeah, did see that.
The day before the cuts.
So I thought maybe they might do it after, that old shit sandwich you used to learn about in management.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly, the old shit sandwich.
I got that the wrong way around.
So, look, it is super sad, man. People lost their jobs. But in saying that, I think, as we said before, if there ever was a time to get released by WWE, you're probably one of the best in history because you've got other companies that are doing quite well that you could potentially go to. So I'm sure a few of them, if they'll at least end up on the indies, if not at Impact, AEW, New Japan, man.
I saw some interaction between Emma and Saraya already that Emma might be going to AEW sometime in the future.
Her and Tony, might hook up the Australian girls, mate.
Yeah, maybe.
So there's always potential for that.
One thing to sort of just mention with all this and sort of put a little bow in it, did you hear what Vince McMahon said on the corporate call after all of the office cuts?
Women should be in the kitchen. That's just a guess.
Quite.
I just guessed that. What, you think you wouldn't say that? That's Vince McMahon.
The exact terminology that Vince said was that the WWE product had plateaued.
Of course he had, because he hasn't been involved in it and he reckons it's gone to crap. They
needed the merger to take them to the next level.
Righto.
You're an idiot, Vince. Oh, man, like, you know what shits me is that everyone gives him the full credit for where WWE got to, right? And you have to admit, he's the one who started it and put it all together. But when you think about it since then, he's had a team of people around him. He's had a company. He's had a business of people that have allowed him to not screw it up millions of times. He gets, and I know Triple H would probably look at me and go, you're an idiot when you talk about, and fair enough. But I don't think you can give him all the credit. Because you hear about stories multiple times where he went to do stupid things, and because of the people that worked with him, it didn't happen. I mean,
remember that time you wanted to do an incest storyline?
Oh, exactly, mate. Stephanie was the one who shut that down, thank God. But, he has a lot to do with it, but there was a lot of other people that also had a lot to do with it.
I think he's a brilliant businessman.
He surrounded himself with great people.
Yeah. And that's what good business people do, and he's made billions of dollars out of it, I get it, but
he didn't know what a burrito was. He ate them every day for lunch. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
Maybe he just thought they were wraps.
Yeah.
Yo. He loved a good rap, didn't he?
Oh, he did.
Let's not
touch on that.
Reenact that backstage thing.
Okay, all right. But yes, Vince is an idiot.
Yeah, he is. He's a mug.
Let's move on to.
Well, I actually wanted to start a new segment.
PC.
Because I know you boys love saying the M word.
MUDSHOW.
And to try and keep it within a certain part of the show, we're now going to have MUDSHOW Weekly.
Cool.
I might put a title up here. We'll see. Maybe some nice little mud slaps or something. I don't know. See if I've got any editing.
Genius.
I am, mate. It's all up here. So essentially, I want us to pick one spot from the week each that we say complete MUDSHOW. And you're going to get one from the week. One from the week. But then I have to you get to go first.
I don't have anything.
Yes, you do.
We already talked about it.
Yes, you do. Yeah, because we don't want to overlap. But I just want to specify the reason for the MUDSHOW Weekly is so you can get your MUDSHOW out, and then it is banned from the rest of the podcast. You cannot say MUDSHOW. So get it all out in this segment, right?
Yeah, all right.
But it's only one each because we don't want to be too negative. We do want to try and talk positively about wrestling as well, gentlemen. So, but Dan, yes, because you're jumping up and down in your seat like a little boy who needs to go to the bathroom really badly, you may go first.
Okay, so my MUDSHOW of the week, I'll break down AEW later because there's actually some nice things on Dynamite Grand Slam. It was actually a pretty good show.
Yep.
My MUDSHOW moment for the week is Jon Moxley and the end for the Jon Moxley versus Ray Phoenix to national television title, whatever the fuck they call it these days. Whatever that is.
International title.
MUDSHOW. Absolutely.
MUDSHOW title.
Right?
No, absolute.
Absolute MUDSHOW.
MUDSHOW.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it, there is a point in the match somewhere during it that our mate Jon Moxley is concussed. Right? He's out.
Yeah.
And he continues to wrestle throughout the rest of the match. I was completely and utterly shocked that he didn't start bleeding. And I think that's probably because he was concussed and forgot to blade himself to start bleeding. Because I was counting, I was sitting there, I was like, it's 4 minutes in, he hasn't, they've gone outside, they did a suplex on him.
Nothing.
Still no blood? What's going on?
Yeah. Surprise.
MUDSHOW, because they got that part wrong. But anyway.
He didn't know what to do because he wasn't bleeding.
Finish of the match, or maybe it wasn't meant to be the finish of the match, but what happened was Ray Phoenix picked him up for a Rikishi driver. So, the pile driver over the shoulder, you drop him down. Moxley's head slammed into the mat. Proper, boom, hit him. And he did not move.
No.
And so Phoenix covered him, ref comes down, 1, 2, his shoulders up.
And he didn't move. He didn't move at all. He didn't even twitch, nothing. There was no movement.
And Phoenix obviously had no idea what to do either. And so I feel that this is absolute, total, utter MUDSHOW on both the wrestler and the referee.
Yeah.
You should have been better than this, right? Yeah. You could tell Moxley's not getting up. Count the 3, because you're a referee, that's your goddamn job. He doesn't get up, then you deal with it after the match.
Yeah.
Right? That's what happened. No? So what did Phoenix do? Picked him up.
The exact same move.
Pile drive him again!
The exact same move.
And then gets the 3 count.
And then they count to the 3,
Yeah.
and then the match is over.
Well, because you know that dropping someone on their head, you have to do it at least 2 times or more, because no one's kicking out of 1 pile driver.
Not in AEW these days.
If you can kick out of like 3 Canadian destroyers, what's 1 pile driver, man?
Correct.
Come on.
But that's look, and
Pretty
I'm
bad.
very glad that like afterwards they showed pictures of like Tony Khan stuff going to Moxley's trailer and making sure he was okay.
yeah.
And he was like he's okay.
But then he came out on stage and did the little Daniel Garcia dance.
So people he got so much shit for that.
Oh, he
So
did.
like, why are you doing that dance when you've got a person who's properly injured and stuff? Like TK had already gone and checked on him. Like, I have to give him the credit for that. But yeah, it's just absolutely not a mud show that the referee that didn't know how to handle that finish properly.
Yeah.
And then you've got a concussed guy that you drop on his head a second time. Just so bad.
Should just count the 3 men.
I think we can count that as a mud show.
Yes,
Definitely.
thank you.
Now, I know you said you didn't have one. If
I
you want to
can't
take
think of anything
if you
that's
want
that
to take
bad
if you
this
want to
week.
take the one I talked about before, I actually have one more that I can put up.
What did you talk about before?
The match from Raw.
Yeah. Well,
You can take that one because I've got another one I can add. If you
We're talking about the NXT,
the NXT
title,
title.
match. Yeah.
The NXT Women's title.
Okay.
Mud show.
I'll take that.
Mud
That
show.
was pretty
But
much.
this,
Look,
I'm going to preface this as a absolute Vince mud show.
Yeah.
100%
Yeah.
a Vince move. Because, like, out of all the people that you would want to come out for an NXT Open Challenge, Natty was not even close to the top 10 of people
Top
you would
30.
want.
Nope.
I can name you 30 other people I prefer to do it.
And not only
One of them being
was it,
Santina Morella.
I would have preferred
The
that. as
Sheriff
well.
of Impact, man. Imagine if he turned up. That'd be fantastic.
It's so bad because, like, not only did nobody want it, but then the match that it actually had was just sloppy and bad.
And what was
And
the finish?
I can't even remember.
It was a roll-up.
Oh, of course it was.
It was a roll-up.
Oh, of
Actually,
course
no,
it was.
I
And it was a
Lucky
terrible
even said that.
roll-up.
Lucky
It
was
was
like,
a terrible roll-up.
Yeah.
It wasn't even good. The whole... Yeah. Mud show.
No, much it.
Much
And the
it.
fact that we were actually meant to get Tegan Knox against Becky Lynch, that would have been a fantastic match.
Can we all just agree that the next cut from TKO Holdings,
It's not going to be an
it should be Vince McMahon?
Oh, absolutely.
If anyone.
Except he's now
just
got-
cut him.
Did you know that he's actually now got some operational ability over the UFC side?
Yes. I did see that.
Dude, imagine how badly he could screw things up there.
So can Conor McGregor fight for the heavyweight title or not? Vince says so. Can he just do it?
he probably could.
Oh my god.
You know what's great? What I saw today was someone put up there on the internet about Vince McMahon and his new look and the fact that he looks like a bootleg Walt Disney.
Yeah.
Maybe we should freeze him. Let's do it. Let's cryo chamber that man. Get rid of him. Oh yeah, we'll wake you up in 50 years, Vince. See you later.
Well, you say that. Apparently, he's told people that he's going to live to 120 and run WWE until then.
Oh, dude, if he can, he will. You know he will.
Oh, he said that he's
Absolutely.
running WWE until they pry it out of his cold dead hands.
Yeah. The other mud show I want to talk about, I think you could count the Emma stuff we talked about before. But we already touched on it.
that's what my original.
We already touched on it.
We touched on
But
it.
I've actually got another mud show, and it's nothing to do with actual in-ring stuff.
Okay.
It's actually to do with Mr. Kevin Nash and his vendetta against LA Knight, who happens to be the most popular wrestler on TV.
Yeah.
So Kevin Nash-
developments this week. Then.
Kevin Nash obviously was the one who started it, who came out and said, who is LA Knight? He's just copying Stone Cold. He's copying The Rock. It's all trash. And then LA Knight came back at him with the verb, not adjective, right? Which was quite funny. And so Kevin Nash has now come back on his podcast, which I can't even remember the name of it, so it can't be that famous. Click this. Click this. Get
with
it's
a
called
K?
Click this. Yep.
Okay.
And a
Because he was in
Q.
the
And a
click.
Q. Yep. And essentially saying that, oh, what a load of rubbish. No one at the show even got it at the time. It only went viral afterwards. Who is he? He's no one.
I got it when I was watching it live.
Now, can I just point out, and seriously think about this,
Yep.
outside of the NWO, what was Kevin Nash?
He was a big boot.
Big Dirty Diesel, who had one of the most boring title reigns in WWE history. He beat Bob Backlund, number one, who wasn't even in his prime. And
In like
he
a
was in his prime.
15-second match.
Oh, dude, it was trash. And his whole, like, if he didn't do NWO, we would not be talking about Kevin Nash in wrestling ever. Without the NWO, you'd be barely talking about him. Let's just put it out there, right?
Hot take, but I reckon he's right.
Yeah, I
Dude,
don't, I can't
just wanna-
disagree with
like,
it.
don't get me wrong, I've never wanted to talk trash about Kevin Nash until now. Now that he's out there trying to be like,
picking on your
LA
boy.
Knight's crap, blah, blah, blah. No, but like, he's not even just my boy. It's tall poppy syndrome. He doesn't like the fact that LA Knight has been in Impact and all these other indies, comes on WWE, and is all of a sudden, bang, he's popular.
And he is a very tall poppy.
He is. My God. That's my mud show. Is Kevin Nash, what the hell are you talking about? Like, you're obviously wrong. Like, you're gone, you're a has-been, I'm sorry to say, but the way you're talking, you are making yourself very much a has-been. Like, just embrace what the people love, man, and accept the fact that you're famous because of the NWA.
Yeah, Kevin Nash, let him talk to you.
Yeah! No, that's my mud show for the week. Like, what the hell, man? Like, to say, who is he? He's the #1 merch seller for WWE right now. How can you say
At 2
who
and
is
3
he?
still?
Probably.
Yeah.
Jesus. Crazy.
Then you get ourselves matching LA Knight shirts for Perth.
Like, you think, yeah, we should. We should. Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
We could do that, or we could make podcast shirts and wear them.
No one's going to know who we are. We have our loyal fans, and thank you. We love you.
All 5 of you. Thank you.
Dizzle. And Joel, too. Sorry,
Okay.
Joel.
What do we want to do next?
Other interesting news?
Sorry, I can't say that anymore. We'll finish that segment.
Yeah.
Do we do
Yep, so that's Mud Show of the Week. Over. No more.
Alright.
Do not say that word.
Should we do AEW before we go to the WWE stuff?
Well, we can't forget about the fact that Jade Cargill's been at the PC this week, along with Randy
talk
Orton.
about that. Yeah, Jade
And
Cargill.
I did see an article earlier in the week that Wardlow might be on his way out of AEW and on his way to WWE, which could be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah. Any other movements?
The only other note that I was going to talk about, which doesn't seem as exciting, was the Vaudevillains reunited over the last weekend. I thought that was good. I always liked them in NXT.
Who's that?
Yeah, I don't even know who you're talking about, dude.
Don't worry about it. That's why I wasn't going to talk about it, because I was like, I'm excited for it, but these guys don't know what the hell
Are
I'm
they another Australian wrestling legend that we haven't heard of?
No.
That's an inside joke. Anyway,
That's a great inside joke. So I'll talk AEW quickly.
Yep,
Because
go ahead.
I don't think you guys...
the Grand Slam, yeah?
Well, before the Grand Slam, I just want to touch on Chris Statlander, right? Because you
Yep.
mentioned Jade Cargill going to the Performance Centre,
Yeah.
right? So we said last podcast, whatever, that Statlander beat Cargill on Rampage, which was probably Cargill's last match.
Because she did the whole kissing with the crowd, waving the crowd. Yep.
But that then meant that Statlander wrestled on Dynamite, and then she wrestled Cargill on Rampage, and then she had a match against Britt Baker on Collision. So
Last
she is
week.
the first person to headline or like a title defense in 3 straight AEW shows, which is pretty epic.
Yeah, that's good. See, I always saw the massive potential for her when I was like fully into AEW when she like first started coming in and wrestling.
Yeah.
And then they just did nothing with her, put her with best friends and just diminished her character. But her getting injured and then coming back has done
been great
wonders for her.
Yeah, so
Wonders for her.
I'm going to do Teddy's shit sandwich segment here, and I'm also going to break the rules a tiny bit. In that was really good. Like the fact that she got to title defense in 3.
I'll allow you to say the term shit show.
Okay.
It's full of mud.
In the match with Dr. Britt Baker,
Yep.
Baker got on top. Then Baker had a run of moves. Okay? So this is a good 2/3 of the way through the match. On Collision on Saturday night,
Yeah.
for the title, women's thing.
Oh no.
Britt Baker hits her with a Canadian Destroyer.
Okay.
Right?
On the hardest part of the ring?
No, just straight in the
Oh,
middle of the
that's-
bang, Canadian
yeah, okay,
Destroyer.
well.
She gets up, she grabs her, angel wings, suplex, bang, down she goes. Half gets up, off the ropes down, curb stomp. So we've got Canadian Destroyer
don't.
into an angel wings, into a curb stomp. 1, 2, kick out.
What a shit show.
What a shit show.
What? Oh,
I want to say it so badly.
Do you know what? Do you know why?
Give him permission to say it. Just this
Okay,
one
we're gonna give you 5 seconds.
Goddamn much show.
Can I just say, I think it didn't work because she didn't do it on the hardest part of the ring. That's
her fault.
obviously why it didn't work.
It was a great match, but like when I saw that sequence and then she kicked out,
Dude, that's pretty
Come
bad.
on.
That's pretty bad. That's like you know what? And that's where you look at, and this is where when I listen to people like Jim Cornette, and I know he can be a bit of an old grump sometimes, but he has a point with stuff like that, right? That's Undertaker WrestleMania level kick out. You know what I mean? Like street kick out.
Yeah.
yeah.
And you're doing it on a Collision on a Saturday between the 2 women wrestlers. Like it's just
For your secondary women's title.
oh, dude, that's
Secondary
you're just
women's title.
ruining it. You're like that ruins wrestling. You
But that-
can't do that.
But that to me though is then why the Mud Show fans that like that then go and watch. I'm kind of way forward to the SmackDown Asuka versus Io Sky match which I think was a better match in general. And they had lots of good like punching and tension, and they were switching between submission moves and different things.
Yeah.
But they didn't hit finisher after finisher after finisher after finisher. So I bet you every AEW fan's like, that match was boring, nothing happened. No, just because they don't hit 14 Canadian destroyers doesn't mean it's a bad match.
Look, we have this discussion on the draft, and I'm trying not to spoil us here too much about who picked it and what, but we talked about this, right?
Yeah.
Your one-on-one matches are super important.
Yes.
Because otherwise, pay-per-view matches and the big matches would not have the prestige they have without your basic one-on-one matches.
But that's also the point in that a finishing move should be a finishing move.
Yeah.
You don't like
That's why they call
when
it
you
signature
see
now, though, right?
Seth Rollins line up for a curb stomp, you know he's trying to finish the match.
Yeah.
It's not the move he does 3 minutes in and then starts
No.
his next. It finishes the match.
And we saw that with Lesnar and Goldberg that time. He speared Lesnar and then did the jackhammer within the first, 18 seconds? And that finished the match.
And that whole, 24-second match at Survivor Series.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
That was great.
But no,
What
I think
a way to end the show.
We have covered this. These matches can be great, and then they ruin it with that sequence.
Yep.
It probably would have been a great match if they hadn't have done that. What? Oh, anyway. Anyway.
Moving on.
No, moving on.
I'll roll through the rest of AEW quickly because
Yep.
I mainly watched Dynamite. I didn't watch the rest of it.
Yep.
Claudio Castagnoli versus Eddie Kingston
Oh, yeah.
for the ROH title. This was actually a really sick match.
Okay.
They slapped the shit out of each other.
Two men slapping man.
Oh, so much. And they belted each other. Like,
Oh, what are you laughing about? That's a term, bro.
I know, but it's just funny.
Two men slapping man.
they their chests were hard. They were just slapping and slapping, and it was a good for type match.
Okay.
Really, really great stuff. Again, though, typical AEW style. Eddie Kingston did 3 back fists and then a Northern Lights powerbomb on Claudio. So his spinning back fist is kind of like Eddie's finisher. 3 of them into a powerbomb. He kicked out 2. But then afterwards, he just picked him up and then powerbombed him again, and that was the finish. So it's kind of finish on the scene.
Why ruined a good match again?
It was a great match. Obviously, he's now the new ROH champion. They shook hands at the end. Those two hate each other, but that was...
Do you want to see my impression of
Please.
a massive AEW fan?
Yes.
AEW is the best wrestling I know. Oh, sorry. You're not all like that, but I'm finding it hard now. I'm finding it hard. For stuff like this is really...
Where are your spectacles?
Oh, do they wear spectacles?
Yes,
I don't know, man. As I said, there's some great stuff in AEW because I don't want to trash MJF and Adam Cole and all that, but some of the other stuff that's happening,
Just
man.
playing it finishes better. It's such a integral part for the whole match to cap it off.
Yeah.
And put the rubber stamp on it.
It's probably the most important stuff.
And to have it he's just finished 3 times and then a powerbomb, suplex powerbomb,
Yeah.
and not get the pin, but then do another powerbomb and win. Yeah, it's just stupid.
Yeah, and he wasn't make cast at all.
Are we going to make it through this review?
Possibly. So
the next one?
the next match, which had a much better finish, and you guys added some more history nostalgia to it for me, which I think was really nice, was the Chris Jericho versus Sammy Guevara.
I've heard very good things about this match. I haven't watched it, but
Good match.
very good things.
Sammy did a code breaker on Jericho. He tried for the go to GTH on Sammy a few different times. They were flipping finishing moves together. I think the ref was Aubrey Edwards.
Yeah.
The chick. Horror. I can't stand her. So over the top in everything she does.
Jericho absolutely loves her. That's why
Mate, it was 1, 2, 4, and she was yelling it louder than the commentators were. It's so much. I just don't like it. That's my show anyway. We'll stop it.
She was. Look, I can tell you.
Segment.
I know. I'm keeping count. He's literally.
I put the fines.
I've been good.
I'm telling you now, man. The way we're going, he's going to pay for the entirety of accommodation in
I'm
Perth.
the one that has to bloody do the review of the match shows.
Review. Oh, what a horrible laugh.
Sammy hit 2 different cutters on Jericho.
Yep.
One off the top rope and one as a Cody cutter type thing. Both of them were nowhere near as good as Randy or Cody, so Sammy stopped doing it.
Yep.
I then had a note here saying that the GTH is just a lame GTS, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same move? Or
But he picks him up upside down and then drops him onto the knee. So it's kind of more like
Oh, so it's an old school neck breaker.
kind of, yeah. It's not quite the same as the GTS.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's just an old school. I don't know. I can't remember the name for it, but it's definitely an old school move because I remember it from the WWE games where you have them in the torture rack.
Yep.
And then you
But upside
sort of
down
flip
torture
them, and then their neck goes on your knee. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Continue.
But then the finish for this was actually a pretty good finish. So Sammy got on top of Jericho in terms of the match. He went to the top rope, took his time to get up there, hit a shooting star, which Jericho reversed into a code breaker 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's a
good finish.
That's a nice finish.
Good finish. Then there was the turn post match.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a bit trash, but then I realised when you guys informed me it's the same way that Jericho turned on HBK
WrestleMania 19.
in WrestleMania.
Sammy
19.
even had the same
low blow.
gear that Jericho did at that stage.
But can I just say, though, they need to be careful with this because now we're getting to a point where there's a little bit too much just reenactment of the past. Like, I don't mind it every now and then,
Especially
but it's becoming
being
a bit
another
much
company that they
MJF
supposedly
did it again
hate.
later, which I'll talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought, I'm not a fan of what he did. Like, the person that he replicated. But that was
We don't care he is.
You hate him so much.
Oh, I just think he's
With all
overrated.
your heart.
I just think he's overrated.
So, I've already kind of pretty much spoke about the Moxley versus Phoenix match in terms of how
Yeah,
that
you can
finished and
skip
stuff.
that. You can skip that.
The only other point I'm going to make about this is that I goddamn hate Justin Roberts and how he announces people. Specifically, right? I'm sorry for all our audio listeners.
Dude, why are you...
No.
You know what this is? This is a vendetta against me just because I went on the Jericho cruise, isn't it?
Oh, any fucking chance
This is exactly what's going on here, man. I met all these people. They're lovely people, and you're just trying to get a rise out of them.
Have you watched AEW? Have you watched him announce John Moxley?
Yes, and he's fine.
So you don't want me to... Moxley! It's horrible.
It's about the only good thing about John Moxley is the way that Justin Roberts introduces
He's
this.
a really, really bad Bruce Buffer.
He wants to
Wow.
Bruce Buffer, and he's not. It's just bad.
I'm not going to take this. Nah, you know what? Justin Roberts is
Well, there's
my
a door,
man.
right?
It's my
If you don't
boy.
want to take it,
Hey,
it's
I'm the host. I'm the host. This might be your house, and that might be your belt, and your all your toys here. But I'm the host. God damn it. God damn it.
But
All right.
before we move on from that match, the only note that I have from NXT was the Tyler Bate and Butch match, which was fantastic, like I thought it would be.
Okay.
The finish was Butch doing the pile driver that Phoenix did to Moxley, but actually tucking his head
doing it properly.
and doing it properly.
And was
that
that actually the finish?
one, and then
Why
that was the
finish
finish.
Didn't
There you go.
Yeah.
Nope.
Didn't do another one? Didn't do it from the top rope?
Well, he
Through the
kicked out of
table?
his actual finisher and then did that. But
Yeah, okay.
I saw that, I was like, they're throwing shade.
Yeah.
Because obvious reasons.
Yeah. Saraya versus Storm was next.
Yep.
Good match.
Yep.
She threw a shooter.
Well, I can see that there's one cut that keeps making it on social media about Tony like picking her up and giving her a big smooch.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. So they went for the hairspray spot for a little bit, and then to reverse it, Tony just grabbed Saraya and just kissed her in front of the ring, and it was like, what? And then she hit the Storm Zero pile driver, and she kicked out of it, and then Saraya ended up winning anyway.
Yeah.
The comment I made on this match was that Taz's commentary is pretty terrible at times.
Yeah.
Because he said
He used to be so good.
Taz's commentary was, we've seen leg locks, hammer locks, and now we've seen some lip locks.
Wow.
Yep. Not great.
Oh, man.
Not great.
Taz really hooked us for that one.
And the final one was MJF versus Samoa Joe. And the start of this was the MJF promo where he redid the Bret Hart one.
Oh, yeah.
With the kid.
With the little kid, and
Yeah,
he gives
with
it
the
the
boy.
scarf.
Hey,
and,
bags.
yeah, and then he whispers into his ear. And he's like, I'm adopted? Funny, right?
I thought that was fantastic.
There's a great little twist to it, so that's good. MJ is so over. It's ridiculous how over he is. And the fact that this was obviously in New York, where he's from and stuff, it was all MJF.
The New York Yankees inspired gear?
He had the Mets, the Jets, the Giants, and the Bills all on his jacket. He had all of the teams from New York on it. He tried to go for the kangaroo kick, which was fun.
Didn't he hit it at one point?
He did.
Yeah,
And then
I thought
Joe hit a Death Valley driver on the ring apron, which we know is the hardest
Hardest part of the ring!
Yeah, that's
How
right.
did he not die, man?
That's crazy.
Then he put Urine argued MJF through a tag.
Yep.
Nice.
Where...
Did he not get disqualified for doing that?
They
They don't have rules in AEW.
I'm probably skipping ahead of your analysis here, but where did Adam Cole injure himself coming out to ringside? Or did
He just
already
ran
go past that?
So he just ran down the ramp and like.
He sort of leaped off the side of the ramp, right?
So the way
I saw.
that the problem with this was the way that AEW had set the ring up. So like normally you've got your ring entry, your ramp,
Yeah.
and it goes down, and then there's the ring up here. So
Yes.
you've got
But it went
upstairs.
straight to the
It
ring.
went straight to the ring.
Oh, that old school style.
yeah,
That,
yeah. But then
They like to
around
bring
the
that back
outside
every
of
now
the
and then.
ring was the low bit.
so he jumped off.
So he jumped from the ring level just to the side because he had to run around it.
He's
And as
twisted
soon
his
as he went bang, his ankle just went.
And then he started limping.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
So that was bad.
Ouchie.
Yeah, Joe pulled all the mats off the ground. He did a muscle buster outside on the exposed concrete. But then, because it wasn't concrete, they had to say, because it was at Arthur Ashe Stadium, which is the tennis courts in New York. So it was plastic. Because it was a tennis court, and then to cover it, they have to put like perspex or plastic over the top.
Like what they do for festivals and stuff.
Correct. Yeah. So instead of like, he's ripped the thing up and hit him on the hard concrete, he hit him on the hard plastic. It wasn't quite the same.
Nah.
But you know,
They should have just like brushed over it. Not
yeah, they did. They brought it up. But yeah, MJF sold the neck really hard. Cole came out to sort of look after him, and then what the finish was that how MJF had said all week he was going to choke Samoa Joe out. He did. So Cole slipped him a chain. He got the chain around Joe's neck. The referee didn't see it. Choked him out. Joe passed out. MJF retained.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
So I think
because-
that
I didn't hear about how it finished, so that's
he choked him
Well,
out.
it's interesting because, that's a heel finish.
well
He's a scumbag,
But
he's
obviously,
ours.
yeah, true. Okay, yeah, true.
Oh, that's what we should get. Machini.
Easy ass comeback.
Yeah.
We're better than you, baby shirts.
Better than you. Oh, we might get kicked out.
No, surely.
Look, I'm going to do it because you've been giving shade to the lovely people from the cruise, and now you made mention about MJF. I want to tell this story really quickly about MJF because that.
Look at me, you're on the cruise.
I only went once, man. I only went once.
Take every opportunity to bring
Yeah,
it
of course, man. It's the only great thing I've done, other than that in the Royal Rumble. And I have to tell the story because that ad of MJF with the kid reminded me. So when we were there, we discovered, because they had literally the ring on the middle of the cruise on the deck.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Right? So we discovered, because there was toilets, but they were always super busy. Just inside one of the rooms where the
just go
gym
in the
was.
pool.
Go off the boat.
Oh man, I'm sure some people did. They lived in that thing for the whole cruise. There was the gym just inside one of the doors, which had a toilet, and we could go in there, and usually there was no one in there. But then as we went longer, people started to discover it was in there. So anyway, I went in there. MJF was working out in the gym.
Okay.
And obviously, this is a cruise, man. I'm 3 sheets to the wind, right? And I've seen it, and I'm like, hey, MJF, you're a legend. Probably something along those lines, right? And he's going to walk past me. And literally, as I go to just pat him on the back because I'm like, you're a legend, as I'm doing it, he just goes, don't fucking touch me, right? Now, I like to think he was just in character.
I reckon he just hates people.
He probably just hates people. But I'm going to steal a story from my mate that happened on the same day. He went to use that toilet, right? And by then, there was a queue because people had realised, there's a toilet and then we're going to go there. So he goes in, he lines up. There's a father and son in front of him waiting because there's only one cubicle in here. There was a urinal, but there was a cubicle that people wanted to use.
Yeah.
MJF comes in during his workout,
Yeah.
walks past the queue of people going to the cubicle, bangs on the door to the person that's in there and says, hurry up and finish your shit, I need to go. Right? And so whoever it was in there was like, oh, crap. Literally crap, right?
Yeah.
Finishes
You
up,
hope so.
comes out, MJF goes in, does his business, comes out, and this father and kid, they're obviously like just fanboying a little bit because here's MJF. MJF washes his hands, dries them with a towel,
Yeah.
grabs the towel, throws it in the kid's face, and walks out. He is a dead set legend, man. He never breaks character. And that kid literally loved it. He thought it was the greatest
because
thing.
he's now got MJF's towel.
Exactly. So
Oh, that's great.
I'll lay off the Jericho Cruise stories for
No, please don't. I like it.
So okay. So anything else from Grand Slam, sir? Was there? Any...
There was more matches on Grand Slam Rampage that I neglected to watch.
Cool.
Because it's just too
Don't need
much
to talk
wrestling.
about him then.
I'll just see the results quickly for
Oh, I know results for one of them already.
yeah?
Young Bucks and Hangman Adam Page.
Oh, the Hung Bucks.
The Hung Bucks.
That's what they're called, aren't they?
New
Well, if not, that's what they should be.
trios
Trademark
tag
AEW.
champs in Ring of Honor.
Are they not the Young Mans?
It's the Hung Bucks for sure. It's got to be. They what?
They're the new
Oh, ROH
trios.
trio.
Yeah, whatever they call them in Ring of
There's
Honor.
too many belts, man.
Yeah.
There's too many. We know who the real trios
They're not the
champions are.
AEW trios. They're
We know who the real trios champions are. Sesame Daddy!
That's what we should be wearing to Perth.
Yeah, well, again though, it's
And a
it's
$5,000
WWE, man.
belt.
We gotta help our boy LA Knight. Come on, Actually, he doesn't need help. We could have found whoever's got the lowest merch sales and helped
Good
them.
Grayson Watt.
Akira Tozawa.
Oh, Tozawa shirt.
Yes, Tozawa shirts.
I'll do that. I mean,
That's the one.
not too much else happened on there.
Yeah.
Christian. So there's a really good story going with Christian and Darby Allin at the moment. You obviously all the father stuff.
I saw the match announced for next week.
No, it's for Collision tonight.
Oh, okay.
So it was Wednesday. On Wednesday at Dynamite, he did the promo saying because it was Sting and Darby. No, it wasn't Sting and Darby. Who was it? Darby and it's Darby and Sting versus Cage and Luchasaurus.
Okay.
Which Darby and Sting won. But then Christian said that on Collision, which is the Saturday night, that there will be a 3-way match for the TNT Championship between Darby, Luchasaurus, and Christian. And Sting's not allowed at ringside. So if you want to come down
it's going to be a 2-on-1 match.
A triple
Okay,
threat.
so I can see a turn coming from Luchasaurus here then.
Or I can see Christian pinning Darby and then he becomes the champion.
The actual champion.
And then Luchasaurus gets the shits because then
because it's actually his belt. Yeah, okay, that sounds pretty cool, man.
I feel so bad for Luchasaurus though, because he actually won that title, and then it's just all been about Christian.
Yeah, but it'll build to a point at some point where he does finally turn. And then they had a 4-way of the Hardys, the Kingdom, the Righteous, and the Best Friends to see who faced the tag team titles against ROH and Cole, and it was the Righteous.
Let me guess. Trent's mum turned up. Probably.
The Righteous.
Like every time.
Trent's mum, yeah.
And then the Acclaimed retained their trios titles.
Yeah, that's fine.
The only other thing I wanted to touch on quickly before we get to our new game this afternoon, which is Hot Take being run by Reece.
What are you talking about? We haven't even talked about Raw or SmackDown.
Well, that's what we're getting to. That's what I mean.
Come on.
If you let me talk.
Jesus.
The big story, we talked about Raw because, the main thing with the MUDSHOW, remember?
He said it, not me.
I did.
He did it.
I make the rules. I'm allowed to break it.
What are we talking about with Raw? We haven't talked about Raw yet.
Yeah, bugger all, because there's not much to talk about. We've got other
heaps
things
to
to
talk
talk about, man.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude. Jill, we're getting there. If you let me speak.
It's not game show time yet. I'm the game master.
I said we're not there yet. Before we get to the game show was what I said.
Can I just say this podcast is a mud show today?
It's part of the Mud Show.
That's a bit of fun. Continue.
No, that's fine. You want to talk about Raw? Talk about Raw. I'll just sit here.
No, tell your story.
No, I have no story.
She doesn't tell your story walking.
Tell your story walking. All right, Raw. Let's talk about Raw. How do we feel about Raw as a whole? Number one.
It was much better this week than it was last week.
Yep,
for
agreed.
sure.
Agreed?
Sure. Vince did some Vince things, which was very annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that before, so I don't think we need to touch on.
Well, we just need to say that was supposed to be Tegan Knox, and Tegan Knox, 15 minutes before the show,
Oh, yeah, okay. That's what we talked about with
do a match or main event, and then Tyler's going to take your spot, which is dumb. But that's Vince.
What did we think of the 3-way promo between Cody, Sammy, and Kevin?
I think that's fine. I think the one thing that I want to really put the internet going wild about, Cody said about Jay
Yeah.
that he is the best in the world and everyone deserves a second chance.
Oh, let me guess.
Just putting that line out there, just for somebody who might be the best in the world
Wakanda forever.
to get a second chance. CM Punk, okay? That's what he means. CM Punk's coming back. CM Punk confirmed.
So is that what is going to happen? So Jay's come to Raw, CM Punk will go to Raw, and then SmackDown gets Cody.
Oh, dude, that could.
It looks
Wow,
Survivor Series.
my brain is just going
Yeah.
mental now you've pointed that out. Because I didn't pick up on that.
He said that line exactly. Best in the world.
I
everyone
didn't pick
deserves
up
a
that
second
either.
I didn't pick up on it.
People need to go touch some grass. Stop focusing on wrestling.
He says as he's talking on a podcast about wrestling. Thanks, Reece. Okay, well that's exciting. That's exciting. I actually thought about it when I was watching it at the time. I didn't think that in depth of it, but the first thing I thought of was when was the last time we actually saw that many baby faces in a ring doing promos without heels there interrupting them?
It was a good moment.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed that segment.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. Like, I mean, they still advance the storyline without being interrupted. Because let's be honest, most of the time when someone talks, they get interrupted. So
They did eventually get interrupted.
yeah, eventually, but not for the main part of the talk.
For a squash match, no less.
But that I thought that was quite interesting. And then obviously, Dan, you got a bit angry because in the chat you mentioned if this leads to another 6-man tag match, I'm going to scream.
Yes, I was.
Oh,
which is okay.
So you didn't scream.
No, I retained my.
I still screamed because it's just like,
What did you scream at?
when are they going to call it quits on this KO and Sammy and Judgment Day business? Like, oh,
I don't think they will.
it's tiring.
They're gonna,
I'm not going to lie, I'm honestly getting sick of it.
it'll end in War Games. 100%. This goes to Survivor Series, War Games.
So we get another 2 months of this shit.
Absolutely.
At the one of the big four.
It's already been 2 months too long.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, Sammy did mention about getting their belts back, so obviously they've got to do something because he's mentioned.
When's that title match? Was that title match? Yeah. Okay.
Which they'll lose, and then they'll do another match.
Mentioning the tag team belts, I thought it was very interesting the way that Damian Priest carries his 2 belts. In all the history of tag teams, I've never seen someone carrying 2 championships like that. So he's got his raw belt.
Yeah, he had one.
He's got his
that was
raw
clipped
belt,
on the
and then
side.
it's like
It looks sick.
in the loop.
I thought it was really cool.
That's
Thank
why I
you for
wrote it
pointing
down
that
as a
out.
note.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap, why has no one ever thought to do something like that? Because it looks fantastic.
2 belts.
Yeah.
And you have one.
No, they always do the double shoulder one, or
I feel like
I'm going to wear
wrestlers-
both belts.
I feel like wrestlers are always
not the other one.
I feel like they're always looking for a new one, and he's found it.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
that
I thought it was fantastic.
Well,
Yeah,
I
loved
liked the way Sammy used to have the one and then the one above it, and then do his jumper,
And then lifts it up. Yeah,
was
that's
cool.
also quite cool. Yeah. I like that.
I've never even picked
No,
up
thank you for picking up on that because
Oh.
I do remember seeing that and thinking to
Absolutely
myself,
loved it.
that's awesome.
It's just so different.
What about Mummy not being on the show again? Because
Bruised ribs.
Yeah, but I love.
Man,
I
I
love how they
hope,
say she's injured.
I hope that's. Well, with Nia, you never know, do you?
Oh, they're adding fuel to the fire, man.
Oh, 100%. That's exactly what they're doing. Yeah.
They want you to think that she is injuring people. Because then, that spot she said, women's roster's on notice or whatever.
yeah, because she just tore through the entire tag team division.
Yeah. And I was like, okay.
Let's build up your women's tag division by having one person run through all of them.
Oh.
Yeah, I have to admit, I
a
don't know
mud show.
how I feel about,
No, let's be real.
Yeah.
With the women's tag on both shows, it's just absolutely poorly done.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
But there was actually an interesting point on SmackDown once we get to it later that I do want to talk about with women's tags.
Oh, how they've cursed the belts.
Spoiler for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, by the way, I
that's
haven't actually seen SmackDown because I haven't had a chance because binge streaming service is absolutely shithouse.
It is
I'm happy
really
to say
dodgy.
that.
Too busy watching
I
jousting.
tried to watch it this morning. Oh yeah, after Medieval Fair yesterday. Tell you what, man, they should have wrestling there.
Yeah.
old good time. I tried to watch it this morning and it just kept saying can't view video, can't view.
Have you
video.
tried closing the app and then reopening?
Oh yeah, multiple times.
The old IT support if you turn it off.
Turn it off and on again, mate. Trust me, it's not the hardware that's the problem. Binge is,
Binge is pretty dog shit.
mate.
Oh,
Keep the first 3 letters from Binge. I think that's what I think of their product. Sponsor us, Binge. So I haven't actually seen SmackDown, so I can't really talk about it. Raw. What else did you have? Reece?
Ivar versus Xavier Woods was a
You
fantastic
mean
match.
Kofi Kingston?
Was it Kofi?
Yeah, it was Kofi.
Oh,
And it was
I
a
don't remember.
sick match.
It was a really good match.
Absolutely sick.
Ivar hitting a moonsault.
Oh.
I popped
Yeah.
for that. I was like,
Can we get him having more singles matches? Because
Yeah.
I'm done with them as a tag
he
team.
did fantastic.
What I love about this was that it was meant to be a tag match between the New Day and that, which no one was going to care about, right? And it's been the same sort of holding the line with this story match that no one gives a shit about. And then, not Ivar, the other one, Eric couldn't wrestle, so then they anticipated Rob too fat. And I reckon Ivar and Kofi just went, how hard can we go?
Yeah.
Like, what can we do? And I reckon that whoever was producing on the night was just like, you guys have 15 minutes, just
Just
go.
go
Just
for
do
it.
what you want.
Yeah.
And
They pulled it off.
let's
man.
steal the show.
Yeah.
And my God, they steal the show.
They did.
Yeah, and the good thing is that even though Kofi won, obviously Ivar came out of it looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh,
He looks
A,
fantastic.
Kofi to hit the SOS on him and
Yeah.
then for him to kick out of it. Like, he's a big dude.
Yeah, dude.
But then, yeah, like you said, that moonsault.
moonsault.
Beautiful. Like,
Could you
Picture
imagine being Kofi, like,
Just
they're
watching
that
this
big?
come down on
That's
you.
almost like
Jesus.
the Big Show, I think, in his earlier years at WCW, he'd do a moonsault, but no one wanted to take it from him because they were so worried about dying.
risky.
It'd be you're near that level, man. I mean, that is spectacular.
But that was a great match.
Yeah.
Great TV match. And the crowd right behind it too.
Kofi, our boy, Kofi Mania, bring it back to the carpet. I can see you got more notes, man. So I'm going to lean on you here.
So we already touched on the Nia Jax situation.
Yeah.
Bronson absolutely squashed Chad Gable, I felt.
Yeah, that was.
So does that mean Gable's clearly out of the picture?
No,
for
this
the
is
time being?
adversity. So this is the Cody story, but for Chad.
It made me a bit sad, but then looking at it, I thought, well, it makes sense because you need to take Chad away from that title scene for a little bit. Because obviously Champion wants to have a shot. Bronson's going to have a shot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes sense.
And that takes up your next two months until Survivor Series.
But that's
like
the
we
thing, right?
discussed.
We said this a couple of weeks ago. Chad, next time he faces Gunther, has to win it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? He has to. We all know that.
Well, he's probably going to beat Bronson before he gets to Gunther.
And then he probably now has to beat Ciampa as well.
Yeah.
And then he gets to Gunther, but then he won't get Gunther because he's going to have to go through Imperium again. Like, this is the adversity story.
It's going to drag out for a while.
But that gives you an extra 3 months for Gunther to tick off his title reign. Make it a bit longer.
Because Otis and Bronson are having a match this week
big,
on Raw.
Big, maybe
Yeah,
big,
so we need to
meaty men
reinforce
slapping
the ring,
mitts.
baby, because if there is a superplex,
you know the tsunami?
you know what spot's coming if they do a superplex. That ring is
ring's
collapsing.
falling.
It is. If it's the last match on the card, I'm calling it now. The ring's collapsing.
You just got to keep an eye out. If they don't have those big metal cages around the ring posts, it's something's happening.
Oh yeah.
Oh, because they unstabilize it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I feel bad for Chad, but it's a long-term story. I get it.
No, it makes sense. What else you got, Reece?
I thought Ciampa and Giovanni Vinci had a good match.
Yep.
And then the
tension there with Giovanni and Imperium too. Right?
I have noticed that.
Don't break them up.
They keep teasing it with
Don't.
Ludwig and Gunther being upset at Giovanni.
Don't break them up. It's the same as Damage Control, right? I get you build the tension, that's fine. Don't break them up. They are too good together. We need to keep Imperium.
Agreed.
Don't break it up.
In fact, can we get Imperium shirts for Perth, please?
I'll be down.
There's three of us.
And jackets.
Gunther!
Yep, all right. I'm definitely. Can we just have multiple shirts and we just switch every
Whichever.
match?
Well, because what if Imperium aren't together by the time we get there, man?
Don't say it. Don't break my heart like that.
You just jinxed it. You just jinxed it.
I have no salt.
Ruin. The only other thing I've got from Raw was the Seth and Shinsuke stuff.
Yeah, what even happened there? Because
So the notes that I've got, Seth was chasing Shinsuke Nakamura around the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looked dodgy as hell.
Got blindsided. Seth blindsided Shinsuke after his match.
with Ricochet.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then ended up getting destroyed and got his back hurt more. And then later in the night, Seth's backstage promo I thought was really good. Him getting all crazy. That's the Seth.
Oh,
that we
you
need
already
back.
done. Yeah.
That's the Seth that we need back on TV because that's.
I also do kind of like the Shinsuke side of it where he's sort of just like strutting around like, aha, you can't get me.
This is the best I've seen of Shinsuke
The only thing is,
since he's come to
what the
WWE.
hell was Seth wearing? Did you see the shoes he was wearing, man? They looked like some sort of back problem
And the
orthopedic
glasses and
shoes.
stuff too.
Because the way he was running around was very awkward. He couldn't run properly.
Was it a throwback to when Bart Simpson had those orthopedic
Mate,
shoes in The Simpsons?
It could have been. Tell you what, is he a fan of The Simpsons?
Oh,
Who is
Old
it?
Colby
Yeah.
Lopez?
Who isn't?
Everyone is. Come on.
I'm sure there's people out there that don't.
Do we need to talk about NXT?
No, the only match I wanted to talk about was the Tyler Bate and Butch one.
Which we
They had
got.
a really nice spot where Tyler Bate was doing a superplex to Butch, but it was a delayed superplex off the second rope. It wasn't the top rope.
Yeah.
So, like,
But yeah.
holding him vertical
Yeah.
on the turnbuckle.
Tyler Bate was standing on the second rope doing a superplex and just like held it.
Dude, that is some
I
cool
think that was,
strength right
that
there.
was a good like 10 seconds that he held it there, and then
How sore your abs would have been after that, mate.
I would suggest you guys check out that match. It had a 10-minute time limit, but it was absolutely fantastic. Exactly what I
see what they do
suspected.
with the Dom stuff now, because I know he's got the match they had Dragon Lee on Raw.
Yeah.
When Judgment Day were out there. So.
I think like with what's happened with Mustafa Ali and
Correct.
him,
What they do.
I think that match on Raw, someone interferes, something dodgy
And then
happens, and
they
then,
redo
that leads to no mercy. Because
Yeah,
what else are they going to do?
Time to change the light, mate.
All right.
Gonna change it to blue light.
Smacky D.
Smack it down, which, as I said it before, I haven't seen it yet. Dan gave me a little bit of a rundown of it. I'm definitely still going to go watch it after we do this podcast and I go home and edit it. I'm going to watch it while editing. But I'm going to have to lean on you boys here for what happened on SmackDown. So, Dan, do you want to, Reece, you spoke about Raw. Dan, you got some points you want to talk about for
Sure.
SmackDown? Sorry, I don't mean to be, you know.
And he's the host. It's whatever he wants, mate.
If you forget something, I'll pipe.
Oh, please do. Please do.
I roll
If he
through
starts
it quickly.
talking trash, I'm going to tag you in, bro. Seriously.
The main thing to talk about from SmackDown, I guess, was the John Cena Bloodline stuff, right? So Cena comes out, says that he's happy to be home. He's really proud to be in front of the fans, but he's not here to just be a backstage commentator or a referee or whatever. He wants a match. come on, Bloodline, you've been annoying me. I want a match with the Bloodline. And to do that, I need a partner. I've got someone who's phenomenal. Oh, surprise, it's AJ Styles.
Oh, boy.
So they come out, they call out the match. Jimmy and Solo walk out, get to the rings and go, nah, walk away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
AJ goes to try and fight them, and then they knock him. Isn't that happening?
No, not yet.
No, I missed
So
that.
AJ and John went backstage to Adam Pearce.
Yeah,
try and
they
get that
signed a
match.
contract for Paul Heyman to sign it.
Yeah, Adam Pearce
okay.
then goes to Paul Heyman to get that sorted out. That's your main event segment. Before that, so Cena gets out to the ring.
Yeah. This is the main event segment.
Yeah, waiting for AJ.
Yeah.
Music hits, doesn't come out.
Okay.
Jimmy Jannetty is attacking. I'm rolling with it. Jimmy
Poor
Jannetty.
man. Poor Jimmy.
I'm rolling with it.
JJ. Double J. He's double J.
the new
He's
double J.
double J.
You double J. Yeah. So Jimmy's attacking AJ out the back, and then you hear someone say something in the distance, and they pan the camera, and Solo's on top of some sort of scaffolding out the back. Jimmy throws him over these boxes. AJ's on some tables. Solo splash off the scaffolding
So
out
he
the back
did,
through
he
the
did
tables.
Shane O'Mac jumping from a great height.
Somewhat. Oh, it wasn't that great a height.
It would have been like 3 or 4.
10 to 15, yeah.
Okay.
10 to
So it's not
15.
quite Shane O'Mac level, but
Like,
But it was a good spot, though.
top of a cage type drop.
okay, cool.
So that takes AJ out of it. You get your little segment with AJ getting stretchered into a limo, and then Carl Anderson's like, I told AJ not to get involved with his bloodline business.
Medical facility.
The local
Says that to John Cena, they close it up, and then
Yeah.
John Cena comes back out. And then they do the
Paul
segment.
Heyman comes out, they said, don't mess with the bloodline. Jimmy steals the mic off him,
Yeah.
gets all bloodliney, Cena rocks out, they crush him. Point of this, though, was the actual tag team partner for John Cena was supposed to come out and save him.
Yeah. Have a
Who
guess.
wasn't there?
No, have a guess.
I already know it's been spoiled. Yeah!
Yeah!
So LA Knight
Got
got
COVID!
COVID.
I'm sorry, Lenite.
He got COVID.
Lenite. Let's say his name.
Lenite.
Lenite.
When he got to the arena, he tested positive for COVID. They just sent him home.
Yeah.
So obviously they then didn't have time to rewrite the whole segment. They didn't want to pick a new partner for him. So they kind of just let John Cena get buried for the main event segment. And he just got beat up by
You know what? I
Jimmy
don't
Uso.
see any problem with that, though, because then on the next show, if LA Knight can actually come back, because let's assume he'll be back by then,
Yeah.
they can do the same segment where John's getting attacked and then LA
And then he pops
gets
in.
involved.
Yeah.
So I don't see any problem with that.
No, that's fine.
I mean, obviously, with the interaction they had at the previous SmackDown, I think it's building quite well. I don't know, maybe if you do play with, do they need to have a match first for them to team up? This
is how Knight gets to Roman.
Yep.
He has to start with the bloodline. He's already feuded a little bit with Paul Heyman. He's had his words. You get him in, he does something to Solo or whatever, and then Roman doesn't like it, and then Roman and LA start, and then off they go.
Yeah.
And then he gets buried at the Royal Rumble, and that's why Roman and LA Knight aren't in the Royal Rumble match, because they've got this title match at Royal Rumble.
Okay.
And that's why everyone's not disappointed when Cody wins the Rumble, and it's not LA Knight, because he's already had his match. So I like these things. It's right.
You're shaking your head, Reece. Not happy with it.
Still on that Cody winning the Rumble train.
What else from SmackDown? The EO Asuka match was
match,
good.
Yeah, it was good. We
annoying
discussed
part of
this
this-
offline.
The annoying
Just
part of
before.
this was that the match, they got ready, they did the ring announcements, let's get started, and then
Oh.
Charlotte Flair's music hit before the match had even started.
My note
One
was
show.
this was like, Charlotte. Oh.
Dead set, man. Oh.
Not. Like, can we
But
Can I ask a question, because I haven't seen it? Did they
Yes.
at least make EO look like a champion in the match?
Oh,
We talked about that.
it was
last
a
couple
solid match, but
Asuka was on
It
top
was-
the whole way.
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
I mean, there's no problem with that,
It was
because
pretty
Asuka is a...
back and
she's
forth
at
at
that
times.
veteran stage
yeah,
now.
it was
So
pretty back and forth at times. But Asuka had the stronger showing.
Yeah, okay. But Charlotte involved...
But Charlotte only got involved at the end, so the end of the match, like I said, they're doing good striking. They kept going between submissions. She kept getting the
Pins.
Asuka lock, then
Yeah.
armbar, then an Asuka lock. She was rolling around the ring,
Yeah,
right?
it's fantastic.
It was a really, really good, like a couple of minutes towards the end. Essentially, what happened was Bailey grabbed Io's leg, put it on the rope,
Yeah.
and then tapped the referee and said, hey, hey, hey.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, stop it. And that's when Charlotte came around and knocked Bailey down. So I think Charlotte and Bailey now might
Yeah.
have a thing.
Yeah, maybe they
They
should
could
be
put
away
a
from the
match
top
booked into
scene.
SmackDown next week.
Correct. And then Io hit some really sick double knees on Asuka and then the moonsault to win it. So it was a definitive finish. It wasn't too
You know what's coming. Charlotte is the Hulk Hogan of the female. You know what's going to happen? They're going to have another match between Io and Asuka at pay-per-view, and Asuka's going to lose, and she's going to do a Bret Hart and go out the ring and go, Charlotte, you get in there and beat her. And then Charlotte's going to go in and win it. You watch. Mark my words.
Oh, okay.
man.
You mark this time.
I can't imagine anyone getting that sort of treatment these days.
It's Charlotte, mate.
No, but
She
like
gets what she wants.
the way that Hulk Hogan did it at WrestleMania 7, I think.
I can't remember which one it is.
Because it was the one where it was Bret Hart versus Yokozuna for
Yes,
the title.
and they put the dust in his face, whatever it was.
Yeah, Yokozuna won it.
Yeah.
And then Hogan comes out.
Exactly, with his
squashes
black
him.
eye.
Yeah.
With his black eye.
Squashes him, wins the title. I don't think anyone would get that treatment these days.
No.
Hopefully not. But if someone was, it would be shut.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
And the only other quick thing from it was the LWO versus Street Profits, which was a pretty good match. The finish essentially was Bobby Lashley urinagied Rey Mysterio onto the ring apron.
Let's get some heat, baby.
The hardest
part of the ring.
And then rolled him into the ring for Dawkins to finish him. And Dawkins
They hesitated.
He just didn't know what to do. He said, I'm not a heel. And so then Ray rolled him up.
Yep.
And so at the end of it,
A roll-up win. A roll-up win.
But that's where a roll-up actually works, right? Because of the hesitation.
Yes.
I feel like if they didn't do them all the time, this is where a roll-up would actually... You'd look at it and go, oh, that's a fair enough.
We see it at least 2 times a week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that they are doing this, we're not sure if we want to be bad guys. You know,
And that's leading to some tension.
Yeah.
You can see it
And Bobby
after that match. And then there was a backstage segment where Bobby's like, I want the suits, everything back.
Yeah.
So he's...
So this is cool, man.
So hopefully this leads to a bit of an attitude change in
Proper
Street
heel
Profits.
Well, I sort of, when Dan told me about this segment, I was thinking about it and thought, well, this is sort of leading to a situation where there might be a Bobby Lashley is Roman Reigns moment where he's like, you do it, here's the chair, hit Ray over the head or something, there's going to be some sort of moment where he forces them to turn and they have to do something pretty bad to get Bobby on side. And I like where it's going, man. I really do. And LWO aren't really doing much else at the moment. So if they can have some sort of ongoing storyline with Street Profits and
It'll do them well.
and Bobby, I think it could do well. I think it could do well.
All
right.
The only other thing I got from SmackDown was loving how they're keeping A-Town Down Under.
Yep.
Going strong. They had a triumphant win.
Keep
and
it going for a
then
while.
And the
our
pretty
boys.
deadly promo was
Yes. They had a training montage. A rehabilitation montage.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was
classic.
It was definitely fun.
Hilarious.
Are we going to acknowledge the fact that we will never see our prediction of Dolph Ziggler pretty deadly?
Yeah, that's sad.
It's very sad. No, I want to go back and watch it, and I'm looking forward to all those bits. So it sounds like SmackDown was actually quite entertaining again, which is fantastic.
Definitely up on last week's one.
Awesome. And up on The Rock's return.
Oh, yeah,
That's what you compare it to, man. That's
free.
That's up. That's 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, okay.
That had
Everything's a blur, man.
Did they have over 1 billion social media views?
Yeah.
153 million plus.
100 billion. Okay, not billion.
Million.
Okay.
Still a lot. It's a lot of social.
Fantastic. Well, that's wrestling for the week. I'm sure there's a lot we haven't spoken about, but now it's time for our weekly game. But as I stated before, there's been a mutiny.
Not a mutiny.
Your game's too hard, Kiki. We're too hard.
Here's what happened. I actually had a good idea for once. And I put the idea forward, and then it got shot down. But somebody didn't prepare the actual game.
It wasn't shot. Okay, it wasn't shot down. It was suggested to be moved later on in the.
Which I was fine
I
with.
definitely did
I was fine
receive a text message from Reese's mum saying, pretty please let my boy run that. No, I'm just kidding. I definitely don't have your mum.
Oh, knowing mum, she fucking would do that. She would do that. But yeah,
All right,
we were going to save this for a WrestleMania-themed draft that we were going to do sometime in the future. But Teddy didn't prepare his actual game because he's been busy being an adult over the weekend.
Got to medieval fairs. Okay.
So I quickly stepped in to do the game. And what we're going to do guess the wrestler based off their WrestleMania win-loss record. So what we're going to do for this one...
Can I just ask? You're supposed to be defending the trophy, and you're not even in the game.
That's fine.
So now, are you relinquishing the trophy?
It can be...
He's vacating.
Vacating the title?
Oh, Vacant gets another championship
can I
to his list of accolades.
Can I just be Triple H and we just hand me the trophy?
You gotta
be
beat
Eric Bischoff.
this.
You could be Eric Bischoff. All right. Explain the game, Reece.
We won't do it for the trophy. That can be for the wrestler or games.
Okay.
All right. So what we're gonna do? I'm gonna give a wrestler's WrestleMania win-loss record.
Yep.
I will give the period that they were active wrestling with, and I'll give their home state.
No, I don't even think it's a state. Just go to the record.
Yeah?
Just go to the record,
Yeah.
man. Yeah,
Just the
make it-
Go
record?
record and era.
Era or time period that they were active?
Oh, just era. You alright with era?
Maybe time period.
I'm going to go time period. All right. I'll
Let's see
I'll
how
forget
hard
about the
it is.
state and
Let's do
hometown
it.
stuff. All right.
All right.
So we've got 5 wrestlers that we're going to be doing. First one, 6 wins, 11 losses. Active between 1984 and 2010. Now, I've still got the state and the hometown here if you want extra hints, which is why I've done that.
2010.
1984 to 2010.
And what were the stats? 6 and 11.
6 wins, 11 losses.
I thought this is going to be a little bit easier.
Oh, dude, no, that's super hard.
Yeah, now the shoes on the other foot, hey, Ted.
Oh, mine was way easier, man. Mine was 50-50 last time. Well, it wasn't 50-50.
Say it again. I've got state and hometown if you guys want an extra hint.
Might need to, dude. Might need to.
I'll do state. I won't worry about hometown yet. Texas. From Texas. That might help a little bit.
Oh. No, man. That's going to be my guess because I can't really think of anyone else.
All right. You good?
I've got someone, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it's that, though. No,
All right.
can't be that. Can't be that.
Wrestler number 2.
Yep.
We've got 10 wins and 5 losses.
Yeah.
Active between 1999 and now. So still currently active.
Yeah.
From Massachusetts.
Oh, that's.
I feel like that one
That
might
one's
be
a
a little
gimme.
bit... Yeah, that's why I didn't want to include hometown because that's just
Don't give us the towns until, like...
at the very end.
Is that one a give me?
Absolutely. You don't know who that person is.
Can you say it again? So from 1999
To now. Still currently active.
still currently active.
10 wins, 5 losses. From Massachusetts.
He's from Massachusetts.
Oh,
Right, that's
come
fine.
on. Oh, please.
Have you at least got a guess down?
No.
Oh.
All right, well,
1999 to now, I'm
Yep.
from Massachusetts.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm not looking at your screen.
Absolutely.
I'm looking at
I've got
you.
this one.
Well, I'm going to have to leave it blank because I've got no idea.
that was perfectly timed.
I looked down.
That was
I'm
perfectly
gonna watch this
timed.
back and I'm gonna
See
hate
this?
you, Dan.
This is what we do for a TikTok
so
moment.
much.
That's a TikTok moment right
Oh,
there.
is this why I'm the host, man? I want to show how little knowledge I have of this crap.
That's fine.
Go.
All right.
Number 3.
Number 3. 4 wins and 5 losses. Active from 1998 until 2019. From Pennsylvania.
4 and 5.
4 and 5.
4 wins, 5 losses. From 1998 till 2019.
8.
From Pennsylvania.
No, that can't be him then.
Okay.
Dude, I'm going to get 0 here, man. I'm telling you. This
I feel like if I include hometowns, it might be dead giveaways. for
No,
some of
because I
these.
don't really remember the hometowns because I'm not an American and I don't...
But like with the amount of times that we've watched wrestling,
Yeah,
Is it from
there might
Hershey,
be a
Pennsylvania?
couple. Unless you said from Death Valley or parts unknown.
from
I
parts
really
of
wouldn't care.
All right, go the state. Go the next clue.
Next clue. So you want the hometown?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, please. I've got no idea.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that still doesn't help me.
Come on, man.
Nah.
Nah, mate, I'm drawing a blank. No idea.
Do you want me to give you an extra hint for this one?
Nah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, otherwise you're gonna go, what are your answers? And I go blank.
Didn't wrestle for the WWE during that entire time period. So left, wrestled for a different company, ended up coming back later on.
That still doesn't help me.
But has a record at WrestleMania but didn't wrestle there.
For the total active time period, he had 4 wins and 5 losses at WrestleMania.
But now I'm confused. You said he wasn't at WWE.
During a time period during 1998 and 2019. So let's just say there were 10 years where he was with another company.
Oh, I think I know.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna... Oh, okay. Yeah, I might have that.
All right.
Yeah, I think I might.
This one might be maybe slightly better. 8 wins and 3 losses. Active between 1977 and 2012. From California. Venice Beach, California.
And what was the win-loss again?
8 wins, 3 losses.
Active between when?
1977 and 2012.
I know that one too. Pretty sure I know that one.
Okay.
I'm going to take a guess.
All right.
But
I was very
number two
proud
and
of this
number
idea,
three-
but I feel
number
like
two
it's
and
kind of
number-
fallen flat a bit.
It's a little bit harder than you thought it was going to
Man, number 2 and number 3, I've still got blank. I've got no
Oh,
idea.
mate.
I've got no idea.
All right, last one.
be. Yep.
8 wins, 10 losses. Active between 2000 and now from Knoxville, Tennessee. That's 8
We've
wins.
only missed one then, sorry. We're only at 5 now, are we?
Yeah.
So I missed...
That's 8 wins, 10 losses. Active between 2000 and now from Knoxville, Tennessee.
I can't think who that is.
Tennessee. Still
I
active.
thought of somebody, but then I
Still
thought
active.
they have
2000.
they have
Yep.
not wrestled 18 times.
2000. Is that their debut of WWE or
That's their wrestling debut.
wrestling debut?
Yeah.
But if they've got an 8 and 10 record, that means they've been at 18 different WrestleManias.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's a lot.
And they're still active.
And
I
they're
think
still-
that's a very small margin of wrestlers.
That's a lot of WrestleManias, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what's got stumped me too.
Dude, I'm not even going to try it because I know I'm going to get it wrong. I'll put an answer, but I know it's going to be wrong. Because I've got nothing else to put, and still got nothing for number 2.
I didn't put the obvious one even in of Undertaker because just mentioning his
25 and 2.
yeah, like just mentioning that it's just a dead giveaway. So I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. All right,
Oh wait! 2000.
2000 to now.
Oh,
Still active?
I think I've got it.
All right,
Taking a guess. Okay,
It's
all right, cool.
it's not that.
All right,
The 2 I think you'll put down, it's not that person.
here we go. Number 1, 6 wins, 11 losses, active between 1984 to 2010 from San Antonio, Texas.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels.
Yes, I got it. I straight got it. Yes, Shawn Michaels, and I'll show you my answer so you know I'm not lying.
I
got
had
it.
HBK and
I got
switched
it, baby.
Ah, you
yeah, because he debuted in 1984, and then he got fired along with Jannetty, and then came back. So there was a big gap before the 90s where he didn't work for WWE. So, and 2010 obviously was the Undertaker match.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Number 2.
1-0 up. Here we go.
Number 2, 10 wins and 5 losses, active between 1999 and now. From West Newbury, Massachusetts, John Cena.
God damn.
And as you look down, Dan's sitting there going,
Yeah, I saw you move your arm. I didn't see what the action was.
perfectly timed.
I didn't see it. Couldn't see you.
Oh,
Couldn't
good.
see you.
Couldn't see me.
Nailed it.
Damn it, John Cena.
All right, number 3, 4 wins and 5 losses, active between 1998 to 2019 from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle.
Yes.
All
All
right,
right. I
we got
got it.
it?
Nice.
I got it. All right.
So what?
So we're 2-2.
Piece?
We're
Two
2-2.
piece? Ooh, this is a lot closer than I thought it would be.
Man, this is okay.
All right, here we go. Number 4, 8 wins, 3 losses, active from 1977 to 2012 from Venice Beach, California. What you gonna do, Hulk Hogan?
Wow. It was
I said
Hulk
Ric
Hogan.
Flair.
Okay. No, I had Ricky Steamboat.
I get the
Ric Flair.
train of thought, and I was looking at I was like, he's gonna pick Ric Flair.
I went Ricky Steamboat.
He hasn't been at that many WrestleManias,
I
has he?
didn't know, man. I don't know. Maybe
11
before
all?
my time. Don't know.
Fair. All right, last one. 8 wins, 10 losses, active between 2000
So hang on.
and now.
This is to see who wins.
Yeah,
right?
it's 2-2.
Still
Yeah.
2-2.
Do we have a tiebreaker?
I do not, but I can get one. I can figure one out.
Let's go. All right.
I can figure one out.
2000.
All right, 8 wins, 10 losses, active between 2000 and now from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Can we say what our answers were first before you announce it? 'Cause
Yep.
I feel like we need a drum roll. I went with the Viper Randy Orton.
So did I.
Oh,
You are both correct.
yeah, it's
Oh, yeah, right.
You are both correct.
My man. My man.
Right. Give me 5 seconds to check.
I went way better than I thought I was going to.
I had HBK for the first one, and
Yeah,
I took
and
it
you
out.
changed it.
Oh, and I feel like that's going to be too hard.
Because I thought for HBK, right,
Yeah,
to be called Mr. WrestleMania, he had to have a better than a 6-11 record.
yeah.
And he doesn't,
I'm surprised you didn't go for a certain one I was thinking of, but anyway,
which was that.
I'm not going to say, just in case he does go for it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Tiebreaker question. The tension, the mood.
Oh, here we go. All right. How many have they been at? Sorry, let me scroll down the stats. I did not prepare for this.
Do not pick an easy one.
No, you didn't. I might have to edit some of this out. How long have we been going, mate? We're going over
All right,
time.
we got 7 WrestleMania appearances.
Yep.
We have... Oh, no, that needs to be updated to 8 because they haven't included the most recent
It's a
one.
recent person.
Ooh.
So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8 appearances with 2 losses and 6 wins from Texas, active between... Ooh, hold on, let me find.
Yeah.
So Texas, 8 appearances, 6 wins, 2 losses.
Yeah.
I feel the pressure.
Feeling it.
Oh, this is...
Active between 1987,
Oh.
Jeez.
1989, sorry, and 2022.
Well, that throws out my Kevin
Was
Owens
he-
pick.
Wait.
2022 was his last match. I'll even give the date to help.
So that was last year's WrestleMania.
April 2nd.
Yeah. Okay, so it's... Yeah, I know who it is. It's all right.
Well, it's got to be that then.
Yeah, it has
I
to
think I also know who that is.
Oh man, if we have to go to another tiebreaker.
I don't think you've stunned us on that one, mate.
Oh. No, I haven't.
No, you haven't.
So
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it.
We're tied again. Can we both get the gold medal? Can we have an Olympic moment right here and just share the trophy?
I'm happy to split it.
You want to split it?
Split. Gentlemen's agreement. All right, we tied.
All right, let's each of you hold a little finger out. There we go.
Yay!
Woo!
Go,
No,
Jack.
not a bad
Awesome.
game.
All right, it was good.
I think there were some better picks. Like some good picks there.
I think there was.
I would, like I said, I was intrigued with the HBK one. That one stumped me.
That's what inspired this idea because I saw his win-loss record. I was like, he only had 6 wins at Mania.
Yeah.
Mate,
Out
you know,
of 17
the one
appearances?
you
That's crazy.
didn't go for that I thought 100% you were going to go for was Triple H's record.
Yeah.
I put that.
He's number 1. He's lost more matches at WrestleMania than anyone.
I'm not
I
gonna
think
lie.
Chris Jericho's number 2.
I put that in, but then I put John Cena instead.
Yeah, well, that was the one you got me on. Well, there we go.
How did you
WrestleMania.
not know Witness? You very
Dude, I don't
Come on,
listen to
man.
that rubbish.
Come
on. Anyway, that was it. Thank you so much for coming again and listening to us here at Down Under the Mat podcast around the pool table of relevancy in Madison Square Garage.
Yeah.
Mr. Daniel Danielson, Rowdy Roddy Reece, I am Booker Ted. Thanks for joining, guys, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you in Perth.
Scissor me, daddy!